Hi YouTube, welcome back to another video where I try to fix more Nintendo Switches. This one's going to be a little bit different actually. This Switch right here I didn't outright buy. Instead, somebody sent it in to me. It's a water damaged one, that's what he said coming in, so we know that. Just looking at it, I haven't done anything here. I haven't done anything to it except unbox it, make sure this packaging didn't have any details, but for the Switch itself, I didn't look at. I just kind of, gave it a look around, physically, saw what I was getting myself into, and that's about it. So we can see these smudge marks. Not sure what they actually are. Could be smudges, but I'm leaning more toward some water remnants, because as we turn it around, we can see some marks of corrosion here, some corrosion over here, especially on the screws. Yeah, this has definitely seen water, and it's definitely been sitting around for a bit. Well, have we got anything in there? No. What about the game cart? Oh, look at that. We actually have something. I think this is the first time I've ever seen a game cart inside a Switch that I've gotten in the mail. Mega Man 11, huh? I think I have that. Or a friend of mine has that. I'm not really sure how those Mega Man games kind of play, but anyway, I'm definitely seeing some corrosion in there. Okay, well, there's not much we can see from just by looking at it, except for, we're definitely getting ourselves into a project here. So, how about let's just plug it in and see what happens. I'm expecting 0 amps and 0 volts to be drawn, but we'll give it a shot, see what happens. 0.26 amps. Nothing's going on the screen. So it's definitely not booting, which, I did not expect anything less. So what I'll do is we'll just go ahead and open it up and see what we're getting ourselves into. Okay, I'm about to take the cover off. Let's see what the damage is. Okay. Well, yeah, that does look pretty bad. Have to admit, especially around the NAND. That's not what we want to see. The battery is definitely very corroded. Got some capacitors up by the M9 chip, and it looks like the water really tried to get underneath the shielding here to the CPU. I wonder if it made its way in. Looks like we've got some stuff around the backlight. Maybe a little bit by the LCD. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and strip this down even further so we can get to the motherboard. Okay, so now that the board's out, let's take a look at the underside, see how that's going. Ooh, wow. That's some serious crud. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not liking the looks of this. This is pretty severe. So you got under this little, I don't know what you call it, rubber. Well, it definitely looked like the battery was bad. So I'm gonna get a good battery, plug it in, and then see if we get anything different on the voltmeter. Alright, so here I go. Here's a known good battery. This is my tester. Use it to test a lot of switches, so I know it's a good boy. Are you able to see that? Yeah. There you go. I think. Either way, I'll hold it up to the camera once I plug it in. And if you still can't see it, I'll read it off to you. I guess you'll just have to trust me. There's 0.46 amps. So the battery was definitely an issue because before it was around 30 some amps. So 0.46 is the basically the dead amperage, assuming that all the components are good. But I'm gonna assume the components are not good since we have corrosion everywhere. So I'm gonna lean toward someone being dead somewhere along the line here. But how it's kind of corroded up near the NAND chip, that makes me afraid, because whenever all the rest of the components are good and it's still throwing the 0.46 amps, could either be the NAND or the CPU, at least in my experience. I'm not sure if that's actually true. But when it's either of those, it's trashed. So let's see, what could we start with? 0.46, that could mean this little video chip here. So let me test it. Alright, let's see what the video chip's reading. I'll test it across this capacitor here. It's good. And then these ones up here. Okay, video chip's good. We test a few more capacitors over on this side. Well, I think what I'm gonna do is, since there's just so much corrosion, I'm just gonna put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm gonna scrub it down a little bit first, and then I'm gonna put it in the ultrasonic, and then we'll go from there. So I'll see you once it comes out of the machine. So it's done in the ultrasonic, and it's been soaking in the alcohol for a little bit, and it's about time that we pull it out and see what's going on. I went ahead and cleaned up the game cartridge as well, and it came out pretty nice. It was all shiny because of the water damage on the label, but I don't know how deep the ultrasonic was able to get down in there. Hopefully enough. Okay. So now I'm gonna let it dry off. I'm gonna put it over an air filter for a bit, and then we'll plug it in, see what we can find. Here it is, ready to test. Let's see. I'm not very hopeful for this one, but maybe, I don't know, you never know. Maybe. So let's see. It's got 46. So we're gonna do the drop. Nah. You want it to drop to 0 and then go above 1 amp. That means it's booting. If it hangs at 0.46 like this, that's not good. Could either mean a bad component or bad CPU or NAND. I'm gonna test around the board a little bit. Just go around testing some capacitors. See if I can see anything obvious. And if I do, then I'll report back. But if not, then I think it's gonna be a lost cause due to it getting under the NAND chip, or, you know, making something bad beyond it being fixable. So I'll do that. Well, I've gone around testing a bunch of components, and I went on the underside of the CPU. So here's the Tegra X1 chip, CPU, and then the opposite side, a whole bunch of these capacitors. Oftentimes what will happen is on water damaged units, it'll, you know, fry the CPU. And the way you can tell that, if the CPU's fried, go on the back of here and test a bunch of these capacitors. And if a majority of them are shorting on either side, then that's pointing toward the CPU being dead. But I've seen a lot of boards that had a dead CPU, and this board right here isn't shorting as much as those boards typically do. So I would say that this actually has a good CPU, but there's not much you can do with that if something else is fried, which I mean, my very uneducated opinion, I guess, it would be the NAND chip, because that thing was just absolutely covered in corrosion, completely browned over on this side. And, you know, you can only imagine what made its way under the chip and what fried whenever it actually got dropped in water. So I'm gonna say this is dead. No coming back from that, because you can't get a new NAND chip unless you have a programmer to get a new NAND chip and then flash I think it's called the EEPROM, all the data from this guy to another one. But you have to be able to have the original data, because it's tied by serial, and it's really complicated. I have no idea how to do that. But anyway, we got that board. I think that's done for. But we still have this Mega Man 11 game. I gave it a good clean. I put it through my ultrasonic, and we're gonna see if it's working. I'm gonna say no. Well, I mean, it was not working before, but now that I gave it a real nice clean, looks like this one's dead. I'm gonna have to get a different switch. But now that it's cleaned, you never know. So let's see. Oh, is this one dead too? Nuggets. It is. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to let one of my other switches charge. So I'll do that and I'll be back. So while that switch is charging, I decided to go ahead and put the old board back in the water damaged board back in the water damaged housing. And I connected up the LCD in the backlight just to see if anything appears on screen. I mean, there's no reason anything should, because the only other reason it should show the 0.46 amps if it's actually alive is if it's slow charging and the battery's dead, but I know this battery isn't dead. So let's just see. You never know. Although nothing should be different. So there's the 0.46, and yeah, nothing on screen. I didn't think so. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and seal this up the rest of the way while I wait for this switch to charge so we can test Mega Man 11. I was kind of hopeful for this, for how well it came out of the ultrasonic, but when you get a switch in, and the game cart reader looks like this, I mean, you don't really... How much hope can you have for something like that? But we gave it a shot, did our best, so that's all you can do. Okay, well, at least we got Mega Man 11 working. Got the cartridge all good to go. So, sorry man, I couldn't fix your console, but, I mean, came as close as I could, and, I think, in my personal diagnosis, I mean, it's coming from me, but in my diagnosis, I think the eMMC, the flash memory, that's what ended up going bad. I mean, that thing had an insane amount of corrosion on it. And there was the battery also as well. But whenever we put in a good battery, we were able to test it to be able to see that it wasn't turning on properly, and the amperage that it was pulling points toward the flash memory being bad. So that's what I think. I mean, you're getting your cartridge back working, so I mean, I hope you enjoy that. Maybe you'll find some use out of your console here. I mean, maybe you could set up as a prop. I don't know, something, you know, set up on your shelf. Like, yeah, I have a Switch here, but it doesn't work. Maybe just something to show off to your friends. I don't know. But anyway, yep, I think that'll about do it. Alright, well, thanks for watching the video, and if you liked what you saw, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks. Bye.